Hey y'all, it's your girl Kimmy, and welcome to my channel Authentic Soul. This channel is all about spiritual enlightenment, guidance, and healing. Okay y'all, so I'm gonna have to work this message out in this car today, okay? Because we was at the park, but how the enemy works, try to stop me from my word, but we about to work it out. So today we are reading from Proverbs 22. So we got Proverbs 22, and we got Proverbs 22, 14 through 13, and we have Psalms 95, verse 8. And I also found another one. So today's message is about the spiritual law of giving and receiving. So Proverbs 22, 13 through oh no, it's Proverbs 22 verse 13. Proverbs 22 verse 13. It says, "Those who shut their ears to the cries of the poor will be ignored in their own time of need." And then I also God led me to another one. So this one is Proverbs 19 verse 17. "If you help the poor, you are lending to the Lord, and He will repay you." Okay, so now we're going to Psalms 95 and 8. So Psalms 95 and 8 says, "If you only would listen..." Oh, the Lord says, "Don't harden your hearts, as Israel did at Meribah." So the message is, let me get my journal. The message is to remember that the poor are also God's people. When God puts it on your heart to give and you ignore it, God will shut his ears to your cries for help. It is a spiritual law of giving and receiving. When you give to others, God pours back into you. So in one of my previous videos, I was talking about the spiritual law of giving and receiving. And I was also talking about how there is going to be an abundance of blessings that God is going to be pouring and raining down into our lives for all of the good work that we have done. And I was also talking about, Leia, shh, please sit back. I was also talking about how, see, lost my train of thought. Oh, Lord. Okay. I was also talking about how God gives us an overflow of abundance. And with that overflow, He's given us more than enough so that we are able to bless somebody else's life. We are able to, yes, we're able to just be a blessing to somebody else's life. That's why God has given us more than enough. And if we are holding everything in for ourselves, and we are not sharing abundance that God has given us with other people, then when in our time of need, there's always going to be a time where we're going to need help. And when it's our turn to get help, we are not going to be able to get the help that we need because of the seed that you sowed, because you weren't helping somebody else. You decided not to help somebody else, and God's seen that. So when it's your turn comes around, you're not going to get that help that you need. So it says the universe gives back what you put out. You are blocking your blessings and gifts and rewards. So when you are when God puts it on your heart to give somebody else and you decide not to, it's like you don't know what God has planned for you or what God has in store for you. It's like we can't see everything that is coming our way. And so when we are not giving when God asks us to, then we are blocking our gifts. You're blocking your blessings. You're blocking your gifts and your blessings. So whatever God had, you will not be receiving that. Because it's like you're hardening your heart. When you're not giving to somebody, your heart is hardened. It says you never know who you're giving to, and it could be an angel in disguise. Right, so it's like when God is putting it on your heart to give to somebody, you never know who you're giving to. It could be an angel. It could be an angel in disguise that has came down to see how your heart is. It could have been a test to see how your heart is. But you decided to not listen to God and you decided to turn away. It says giving does not have to be money. Giving could be kind words, it could be wisdom, it could be food, it could be time. So it doesn't mean that giving doesn't mean that you have to give money. You can give whatever it is that you have. You can give knowledge. It's like God is giving us a lot of wisdom, a lot of spiritual knowledge right now. So by using your platform, using your channel, and spreading knowledge and helping others, you are also giving. If you see somebody that's just having like a bad day, you can bless somebody with words of encouragement. If you see somebody that is in need of food and you have more than enough to share, you can bless that person by giving them food. You can bless somebody with a prayer. You can bless somebody with time. It's whatever that you have to give. And in return, you're going to get blessed because you are giving from your heart. It says if you have a spouse and they choose not to give, they are blocking your family's blessings as well because you are one. It's like when you are married, you become one. You're not two separate people. And this is a problem that I had a lot of the times in my relationship is that I was always giving, and it didn't matter. It could have been food, it could have been money, whatever I had. It could have been knowledge or whatever. And he would be like, "Why are you giving? And you're doing too much." And it's like, first of all, like, if God put it on my heart to give to somebody, then that's what I need to do. You don't have to like give everything that you have, but you're supposed to give that extra, that overflow. And there was a point in time where I did get it kind of messed up, but it's like you don't give everything that you have. You're supposed to give that extra, because you're not supposed to give until you have nothing. So if you have a spouse, they need to also, you need to also remind them that it's important to pour into somebody else. It's okay. It's important for them to give as well. It can't just be only you, because you guys are considered as one, so they also need to give, because so that your blessings as a whole family can come in. It says God has a storehouse of blessings, gifts, and rewards. Life goes through cycles. At the end of each cycle, God releases your rewards. So life goes through cycles. So at the end of each cycle, whatever seeds we have sown, that is when the blessings and the rewards come. When you give back to others, you are setting solid foundations. That's the thing that people don't understand. Like, also, setting solid foundations is about about your actions that you are taking, about your actions, your words. Everything that you do is sowing seeds. Everything that you do is setting solid foundations. So you always have to be mindful of how you're treating people, of how you're talking to people, of, are you giving, are you not giving? You have to be mindful of everything that you do. God releases your spiritual karmic rewards for work well done. So it's like, if you are doing what God is asking you to do, if God put something on your heart and you are doing it, you are going to get rewarded for that. And those rewards are your spiritual karmic rewards. And it says you're building karmic debt. So you have to be mindful of your attitude in certain situations, your words and how you treat others, your actions. Yes, you also have to be mindful of your attitude. Like, you can't be going to the store and getting an attitude with the cashier because she didn't bag your stuff fast enough. You can't be going to a restaurant and getting an attitude because your food didn't come when you expected it to. Like, everything that you do, you have to be mindful of, especially your attitude and how you're acting in certain situations. Like, I had locked my keys in the car, and like, I was mad about it, but like, me cussing and fussing and throwing things and kicking my car, whatever, wasn't going to help the situation. And so people just couldn't understand, like, oh, you're so happy, even though you locked your keys in the car. Like, that's not going to help me get my keys out of my car. So I'd rather just look at things from a different perspective, because the enemy is always trying to look for a chance to just steal your joy and to steal your peace. When things come back to you, you want them to be positive rather than negative. Being mindful of your thoughts about yourself, your life, and others. Yes, so your thoughts create your reality. So you need to be mindful. You need to be careful of how you're treating people. You need to be mindful of your thoughts towards yourself, towards others. You need to be mindful of what you say and speak over your life. Say what you say and speak over other people's lives, because that also is a form of witchcraft. That's what people don't understand. Like, don't speak negative things over your life. Don't speak negative things over other people's lives. It says you are getting rewarded for being truthful, being honest, having integrity, and not denying God in front of others. Like, people don't even know. People don't even know that you get rewarded for being honest, for doing the right things when nobody's looking. That's having integrity. There is a time that, actually a lot of times, especially, doing this work, where they say, where people be like, God's not talking to you, and God doesn't do this for you, and you made the moves, you did that on your own. And I'll be like, no, I know what I've done on my own, and I know what God done for me. And so you need to stand up and you need to talk about what God has done for you. Like, don't take the credit. When you know you didn't do it, don't take the credit. Because it says God is always watching, your angels are always watching, the universe is always listening. So it's like God is always watching, he's always listening. Your angels are always watching, and they're always listening, as well as the universe. The universe can't discern um the universe can't discern like if you're just kidding when you're saying certain things. And it doesn't discern like the words that uh it doesn't discern like if you're saying negative words towards somebody and but you're like, "Oh, I didn't mean that." No. It's listening. The universe is listening to every word that you speak, every word that is spoken. So you can't be like, "Oh, I didn't mean. I just take that back." No. It says you can't sweep things under the rug and pretend like it never happened. Like a lot of people do things and it's like they don't even admit to their wrongdoings. And it's like they rather just sweep it under the rug and just pretend like they never did it, they never said it, and it just never happened. And it's like, first of all, God knows it happened, your angels know it happened, the universe knows it happened. So you can't just sweep things under the rug because whatever is done in the dark will come to the light. So it's better to just be honest. It's better to have integrity. It's better to just tell the truth. Because at the end of the day, whatever you do is going to come out anyway. It says God gives you a test to see how you're going to react to certain situations. Oh my goodness. Like, this is why I left the park, because I was trying to do my video and these teenagers came to the park and oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's so disgusting, y'all. Oh my gosh. But anyways, these kids came to the park or whatever and I was trying to do my video and they were just using all this vulgar language, you know. Not that I didn't use language like that, you know, when I was a kid, but now it's like when I have my own kids and I hear other kids talking like that, I'm like, oh no, like that is not cute. But anyways, it says God gives you a test to see how you're going to react to certain situations. And it says, did you learn your lesson from the last time the situation happened, or are you still going to do the same thing? So in our life, we learn lessons, and God also gives us tests to see if we actually learned from the mistakes that we did. For example, like I used to be a person that this is not good, but I used to be a person that, like, when I would go to the self checkout or whatever, like, I wouldn't scan everything. And if I, like, accidentally walked out the store with the item that was in my basket, you know, I wouldn't go back and say, like, hey, you forgot to scan this item or whatever. So a situation happened to me where it's like I had the means to pay for my items or whatever, but I was trying to save money or whatever, so I was scanning some of the items and I wasn't scanning, you know, other items. So this is really bad because I had my kid with me or whatever. I was like out of fries or whatever. And so um I had bagged everything up. I had threw my stroller on top of the bags, and I was walking out the door and the scanner went off. And as the scanner the alarm went off. So the alarm went off, and so I'm looking around like, what is going on. So the store manager approaches me and they ask me for my receipt. So she's like checking my receipt or whatever. Like the receipt was long, and so it was like she really didn't want to. Like she knew that I didn't pay for some of my stuff, but it's like she really didn't want to go on my basket and just look through everything. And so like my heart dropped down in my feet, and like all these scenarios start running through my mind, like oh my gosh, like they could call CPS, like I could go to jail, like all these things. So like I literally told God, like I'm not about to do, like I learned my lesson from that day, like I'm not about to do that stuff anymore. Like if I have the means to pay for it, I'm gonna pay for it. you know if I accidentally walk out the store with something, like I'm gonna go back and pay for it. So that happened like years ago, but like 2 months ago, the situation arose again where um I was at the first time I was at Walmart. I literally had paid for my stuff. And so I had walked all the way out of the store, got to my car, I started loading my items into the car, and then I noticed like I didn't pay for like a Lysol. And I was like, "Oh my god, like my kids were, already in the car, and I'm like I really didn't want to walk back in the store, and I said, "You know what? Like I told God, like I will never do that again. Like I learned my lesson, so I'm gonna go back in the store. Like I had to put my kids back in the basket and walk all the way back into Walmart. And then as soon as I get to the self checkout, to pay for the item, then my daughter goes, "Oh, mom, you forgot to pay for this." All loud, like I was like, "Shut up." But I had learned my lesson. Like I know that God is watching me. I know, my angels are watching me. I know the universe is watching me. So it's like when you have certain knowledge as well, it's like you need to be mindful of everything that you do. Cuz I was just like, I'm not about to block my own blessings over no Lysol spray. Like that's stupid. I'm about to just go back in here and pay for it. Then another situation happened like a couple weeks later, like maybe like a week later. I was at Target, and so I had all these groceries or whatever, and so I walk out of Target or whatever, and I get all the way to my car, and then I notice like that I had sodas underneath my cart, and I'm like, I had 3 kids, you know what I'm saying, and I'm like, oh my god. And I said, nope, I'm about to go back in the store, and I'm about to make sure I pay for my stuff. So I went all the way back in the store. I went to the cashier that had rang me up the first time, and I said, hey, you forgot to scan my sodas. And he's like, oh wow. He was like, most people wouldn't do that. They would just, walk off with it. And I was just like, yeah, I don't got time for that in my life right now. And it's because I learned my lesson, and it's because I understand that I need to be honest. I need to have integrity. Like I need to be leading my life with by being a positive example. Like I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like I could have went to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like There's so many things that could have happened to me, but it's like I'll never do that again. Like I learned my lesson. So it's like certain situations will come up in your life, and it's like God is testing you, like, did you learn your lesson? Because it's like if you didn't learn your lesson, like, and it's like you have the knowledge, it's like it's gonna be worse this time. It's gonna be worse this time. Like you're not gonna be able to get away with it. Like something's gonna happen to sit you down and be like, you don't need to do that again. So, okay, y'all. So that concludes today's video. Don't forget to comment, like, and share. Don't forget to subscribe. If you would like to have a personal reading from me, I will leave my information down in the description box. I gotta go ahead and go get my baby from school, so I will talk to you guys another day. All right, have a blessed day, y'all.